Hello, this is a presentation of the translation techniques used in a text by team number 6, Ricardo Alcocer, Dennis Pech, and Martin Rubio. Now, the first example we can find in the text is that of compensation. At the beginning of the text, compensation is used to show an aspect of formality, which requires in Spanish additional elements to be represented. For example, the text itself says your in English without more elements to show that formality. Meanwhile, in Spanish, it needs to expand that. For instance, it says su, si, usted in a different manner to express that formality. Next, we have an established equivalent. In the English version, it says the U.S. Department of Education. Meanwhile, in the Spanish, it uses a translation that is already established and accepted, which is the Departamento de Educación de los Estados Unidos, with the contraction of U.S. being already an internationally accepted version in Spanish. And next, we have a linguistic compression. In the text, the expression as early as is compressed into a single word, which is desde. You can start filling out the FAFSA as early as October 1 each year. Puede comenzar a llenar la FAFSA desde el 1 de octubre de cada año. This is an example of a linguistic compression. This is an expression that has been compressed into a single word. Now, for the next part, I'm going to let my partner Martin continue with the text and show some examples.
Hi, this is Martin, and I'm going to continue with the explanation of the second part of our text. This technique is called amplification. In this example, the use of paraphrasing, which is used to explain a word in English, is better addressed into Spanish using this technique. More information and details were needed to explain these words in the Spanish translation. Keep in mind that you must refile every year and you must file. En Spanish will be que debe volver a presentar la solicitud y que debe presentar una solicitud. Modulation. The change of view is changed, but the same idea is still conveyed in this example. In here, a different phrase is used from the source language to the target language. Also, lexical is changed in relation to the source language. Better sense into saber mejor. Calc. In this case, the translation of the foreign phrase, in this case name, is translated literally. It is noticeable that the lexical is still remaining, but the structure changed. Social Security is calc to Seguro Social. Following my partner Dennis will conclude with the analysis of our text.
Okay, thank you very much, Martin. Now I will analyze the last part of the text, and first of all, we identified that the translator is using literal translation, as we can see a word-for-word transfer of source text elements to the target language. But also, we identified that the translator is using borrowing, as he's using the term FAFSA without any modification in the target language. Also, we can see that this is not functional equivalence because there isn't any explanation about what the term FAFSA means in the target language. Then, in the next line, we can see that the translator is using again literal translation, but also synonymy, as we can see he's using similar terms in the target language. Finally, we can see again literal translation, but reinforced with expansion, as the translator is amplifying structural elements in the target language in the last line. Well, in conclusion, we identified different techniques as compensation, established equivalent, linguistic compression, modulation, calc, literal translation, borrowing, synonymy, and expansion that the translator used in order to help the reader to get the original idea from the source text. And thank you very much for watching us.